Hello everyone, Maurice and welcome to Tanks Invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's video, 8 items only. The investment topic today will be Ethereum taking ETH. And this is my second video that I'm posting again today. With respect to Ethereum, it's currently up about 6.77% as I'm recording around 5:30 p.m. on the Eastern time on June 30th on Wednesday today. And with respect to a lot of positive media affectation I've been experiencing today, ever since the consecutive pump days that we've had with Ethereum so far with respect to the Jim Cramer news on his depictions around his preferential treatments towards Ethereum, and subsequently with respect to the B Wood Summit that we heard from CNBC on Jack Dorsey's invitations to Elon Musk and Cathie Wood and some other crypto giants that's gonna be, participating in the summits basically 1.5 weeks out. And so with respect to more news today that we got picked up on the media affectation, I'm just looking at the Cointelegraph at the moment. With respect to the digital currency group, $50 million spent, it got within the stir of the media affectation, also propelled the Ethereum Classic price to go up about 5% today, which subsequently have some direct correlation effects into Ethereum price point to be up about 6.76% today as well. And also with respect to Market Watch, 4 hours ago, there was an article that came out with respect to the comparisons between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, more preferential treatments towards Ethereum as the value proposition as an asset going forward versus Bitcoin, which, this is like basically 5 consecutive positive media affectations so far, which subsequently drive Ethereum to go back up, despite the neutralized type of momentum that we've had earlier today, trading around like $2,150 level. There is definitely 5 black swan events that occur so far. So I'm gonna go through a technical analysis again to revisit the risk profile, how we should be dollar cost averaging going forward. So stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. Alright, so moving on to the technical analysis for Ethereum ticket ETH. I'm recording this at 5:54 p.m. on the Eastern time. I just had a bunch of meetings earlier today. It is right now trading around like the $2,260, up about 6.35% so far. And with respect to obviously the consecutive positive media affectation that I've been experiencing so far, something fishy is going on, right? I think my spidey sense definitely tingling at the moment right now. And just take a look at the correlation with respect to the 5 consecutive negative news that we've had ever since the FOMC meeting, and then the James Bullard article, and then the Chinese crackdown, and then the rebound, and then now we hear like 4 or 5 positive media affectation on pumping this up consecutively. Seems like with respect to the media affectation, directly coming from the publication companies, and I've been looking at it so far. Market Watch is, the parent company is owned by Dow Jones, so that's one parent company. The other one, stemmed from Jim Cramer, is the CNBC News Corp, right? So it seems like these two companies, publication companies, are controlled by an institutional investors. Obviously, these are companies that's owned by either a hedge fund or by private equity investor or, some sort of fund, if you may, a pension fund, if you may. And they oftentimes have some correlations or ties to their crypto assets holding, right? And seems like someone behind the scenes are tapping them on the shoulder to pump more positive news ever since the consecutive negative news that we've been having so far, right? Because I feel like based on how the chart is set up right now, this is driving an outlier to the trends, right? RSI is highly overbought right now, right? With respect to the curvature that we see right now on the MACD is being a little bit too sharp, right? We are bullish because of the summit that's coming up, so we have that macro positive pressure coming 1.5 weeks out, but doesn't this seem a little fishy to you? How coincidental it has been, right? And we've been keeping tabs, right? Ever since the FOMC meeting, James Bullard article, right? The Chinese crackdown. Now we hear the positive news again, right? Consecutively, right? This sounds like a classic manipulation play from the institutional investors, right? So the risk is definitely increasing as we are progressing right now because of the level. And not just the level, it's the way we're doing it. The momentum just seems artificial to me, based on how we see it right now. So I think there's a probability that we might go up to the 2,350 in the near term because we do not ever just float between the lines. We either go above the walls or below the ceiling, right? So we have to kind of find a way for us to settle, right? So I think right now, there is a propensity for us to leap up to the 2,350, possibly tomorrow, ahead of the weekend affectation that we'll be experiencing on Friday and Saturday. right? Just know that the risk is increasing right now because the RSI is highly overbought. MACD is crossed upward. We know 1.5 weeks out it's going to be positive. But I think the buying opportunity might be coming a little bit later, right? I wouldn't mind buying it now because like if you truly believe in the long-term value proposition, then you know that eventually these numbers are going to be minimal in comparison to what's going to be happening in the future, right? But in terms of like risk mitigation, because we are in the business of mitigating risk profile, right? I think right now the risk is higher, right? I think if you got in at the 2,150 earlier today, like I said in my previous video, that's great. You know, I would hold off on chasing right now because I wouldn't chase the price that we see right now because of how consecutively and coincidental it is, right? Your spidey sense should tingle up as we see these trends because these are too good to be true sometimes. Okay, again, whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? So I will watch for a better opportune time at the 2,150 again. I think we should be getting back there by Friday, by Saturday. Again, right, July 4th is coming, right? Do we see the $2,050 level? I think we might by Saturday or Friday as we cool off the RSI, right? Despite the MACD being, more of a bullish sign right now, right? So I would advise like holding off, I think the likelihood of chasing up to the 2,350 would be likely, but I give this maybe a 25% likelihood, to be honest with you. We might get there if we get more like artificial news that was coming out again and again and again. This will be 6 positive news that we've been counting so far, right? So I will continue to keep tabs and see how artificial it looks like, but it seems like this seems pretty artificial so far. So definitely be careful, dollar cost average wisely. Right, just to recap on all the numbers that we talked about in the technical analysis, again, right, in a more risk-averse perspective, knowing the fact that the news has been so consecutively positive so far, ever since on Monday, with the rebound. This sounds a little bit too good to be true in a logical perspective, okay? So if you are more risk-averse, right, I suggest maybe waiting off until the Friday and Saturday coming, right? If you want to take some risk right now, I think 2,250 is fine because it's a substantive resistance level we've tested before. But just, lower your exposure. Do not go all in, expecting the pump will continue like that. We might, but how likely do we see like 6 consecutive positive news in the last 3 days so far, 4 days so far, right? Just think about that logically speaking, right? Remember, whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? So with respect to attractive level 2050, we might get there sometimes around Friday or Saturday. I would say like maybe noon on Saturday. We'll see how the market dynamics goes because like the news is very manipulative now. It seems like it's playing an influential factor into the market. So that's something we need to watch out for. 1950, I think based on how the market is rotating right now, I definitely do not see that coming in the near term unless we hear some major black swan events news that's really negative. But based on how the market is influencing now, based on media affectation, I don't foresee us to be getting to this level anytime soon, just because the news has been percolating this way. Right, again, corporate adoption 20%, 9,800, 4.6 times their money if you buy $2,150 level. Alright, so that's it for their respect my technical analysis again on the Ethereum ticker ETH. Hopefully you guys have more clarity around like what's the market dynamics looking like right now. This is definitely a little bit iffy with respect to the, media affectation that we've been experiencing so far. Just 5 consecutive positive news ever since the 5 consecutive negative news so far. So definitely be careful. The risk is definitely increasing as we are, heading to a higher price point. However, with respect to, long-term wise, definitely very bullish in a long-term value proposition and just based on a business fundamental perspective, right? Hopefully this is helpful, and please hit the like button, subscribe button, and also bell notification, and watch out for things coming up. Take care. Bye.